In this episode of Detroit Performs, a young sculpting talent. A group of Detroit public school students use their surroundings to create art. And we witness the revival of a landmark dance institution. It's all ahead on this edition of Detroit Performs.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, MGM Grand Detroit, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm DJ Oliver and welcome to Detroit Performs. Today's episode features a slew of young talent. These fresh artists are just the kind of people we hope to discover, and in turn we hope they inspire other creative minds by seeing what they can achieve. We are here at 555 Gallery, a 12-year-old community arts organization started in Ann Arbor and has resided in Detroit the last decade. 555 Gallery opened its doors in 2012 inside the former Detroit Third Police Precinct in the culturally active community known as Mexican Town. We'll get to more of the gallery in a minute, but our first segment includes sculptor Austen Brantley, whose sculptures filled this very gallery not too long ago.
When Laura came in, I wanted to capture a certain depth that I think that she has as an actress. I picked a pose that was sort of sad and sort of depressed, even though my motto isn't. I picked that pose because I wanted to convey, just in my mind, I wanted to convey, like in my series, that all these pieces have in common is that they're sort of sad and isolated, and they're trying to understand why this is happening, why, and they're confused. These characters are confused because they're trying to know who they are, trying to get out of bad situations and live, explore, but they can't. I think of, like with the isolation and breaking out, I think a lot about Detroit because just in general, that's where we are. We're breaking out, we are coming out of our shells, our cocoons, and we are becoming culturally aware and very much expressive. And not just arts, but everything.
There's something about the figure that just we all can relate to, and it's so appealing. And to do it well is really, with expression, is really admirable, and it's a challenge. He's just such a young, he's so young. I think that's the thing that flabbergasts me. He's so young to be pulling this out and doing this. I mean, he's only 18, for Pete's sake. And he's got such skills. I mean, he's not perfect yet. None of us are, but still, what he is pulling out of the clay, different personalities, different emotions and expressions, that can only get better. It's only going to get better.
Before sculpting, I was in the athletics. I also played the alto sax and band and stuff like that. I was musical. I tried everything. I just wanted to find what I wanted to do, really. I just played with clay a lot when I was probably about 15 years old, and I got in a ceramics class, and I just liked playing with the clay. I didn't get the same satisfaction as making a pot as I did just making a face. There was this is so new, this type of satisfaction was so rare to me because I've always been a perfectionist, but I didn't know I could really sculpt. I never knew I could sculpt. It was like, I looked at sculptures before and I was like, how are those even made? And then I started doing it, and it's a completely weird experience, really.
I first met Austen when he stepped into my ceramics class one day. He popped his head in and kind of waited around till there was a break, and he came up to me and introduced himself, and he said he was working on some sculpture and he was wondering if I could give him some feedback on his sculpture. And he had 3 sculptures set up, and it really surprised me. It knocked me over, actually, because he is so young and his sculptures were so developed at this is his first sculpture class, basically, as I understood it, and I was just in awe.
I think at first I even thought it was sort of like a hobby, and then other people did, but I sort of really thought that it could really mean something different.
I feel that Austen has a really important role to play. And this was made clear to me when I went to the NCECA conference this year, which is the conference for ceramic education in the arts. And there's thousands of people there, and the keynote speaker is Theaster Gates, who is a well-known sculptor. And he had an inspiring talk where he spoke about how important the diversity is and how we all have this calling. I was just like, Austen, I know, I should bring Austen here. You know, we all have choices in life, and he has chosen the human figure and working with the human emotions. And I admire him for that, and it's a real gift. And yes, I think he has a role to play to all young people in this.
When I'm looking for inspiration, I'm looking for something deeper, something emotional. I try and do the classic tradition, but also mix up my own sort of style into it. I look online for source material, or if I see a face that I think is interesting, I'll grab that model, or I'll just draw that face, or I'll just imagine that face when I'm sculpting, and then I sort of put that into the clay. Not just making a sculpture or doing a portrait, but making a statement is one of the most important things to me. Just as people, we can find something that we really love. It's just the satisfaction of being able to display your thoughts in a three-dimensional form. It's just, it's really great that I can just sort of talk through the clay. I get to just put everything that's in my mind into that piece of clay. I completed this sculpture. It's called I Exist. It represents American slavery and just a human being feeling the need to display that he exists, that he's shouting out, he's reaching out to show that he is here, that he is a being too. Just the overall expression of it is refreshing to me, because it didn't even take me that long to sculpt it. The idea was so inspiring in my mind that it was so easy.
That to me exhibits this hunger that he has and this passion for his art and craft. He has visited any number of well-known artists locally. I know he just recently got back from Toledo visiting an artist.
I met a master sculptor. His name is Woodrow Nash, and the most memorable thing that he told me is that the clay will reveal itself to me, that I have to discover myself in the clay, I have to discover my own voice in the clay, and that I'm only limited by my own ability to create. And when I heard that, it's like, this is what I want to do, this is where I belong.
I love his pieces actually in the raw state. That's probably my favorite point, is as they are emerging out, there's something in that leaves, that's a mystery to it that you also wonder about. And I like that part of his work where he is putting expression in, but then at the same time, he's letting the clay show the natural physical properties of the clay.
I really believe in conquering your fears and also getting through obstacles. Just for every person, I think every person has it different, but I think every person is trying to get where they want to in life. And to be able to actually sculpt it out, like when I'm actually sculpting something, I'm sort of sculpting my life. I'm making it.
To find out more about Austen Brantley, as well as all the other artists featured here today, head to DetroitPerforms.org. I'm standing in the main gallery of the 555, and currently it's housing an exhibition anyone can be a part of. 555 asks for photographs from the community of people celebrating everyday life as seen by everyday people. And wow, they have got some astonishing photographs, y'all. Our next segment takes us to Cass Tech High School, where a group of students were inspired by the Heidelberg project to create art of their own.
We've always tried to be on the cutting edge of theater here at Cass, mainly because we're one of the few schools with a performing arts department.
I think that what's interesting about our director, Ms. McCormick, is that since she's been here, she's touched probably every musical that's out there that high schools are allowed to do, and even some that we aren't.
We've done so many things. I thought, what better story to tell than our own?
We started hearing about news in Detroit about the burning down of the Heidelberg projects, and it was like, why not tell the story that's going around us?
As we were sitting around talking about all of this, I just thought, oh, I'll show them these pictures, because I don't know how many of them were even aware of the Heidelberg project. But I thought it would just cause them to start thinking about things. I had no idea that it would affect them the way that it did.
We started breaking into groups, and we all picked a house. And then we picked a story to go with the house, like a family that lived there, and we had to choose who was going to live there and what they're going to go through.
I thought it's inspired by the Heidelberg project. Wouldn't it be cool if Tyree knew about this? And so I said to the kids, find a phone number. We just have to call. And the woman I was speaking to, Margaret Gray, said, that's wonderful, go for it. And I'm going to arrange for Tyree to meet with the kids and they can experience the Heidelberg project.
The Heidelberg project has always been a big thing, probably one of the many good things that Detroit has left. And so many of it was being burned down, tore down. And yet, Tyree Guyton, who created the Heidelberg project, he's still going. We see that Detroit is being burned down. It may be physically, maybe emotionally, mentally. Now we can work with Tyree in a way of our art to build it back up.
And to see him, you know, when we were touring, to me that was so profound.
You guys are doing what you're doing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it.
Because he has taken such a loss on his art, but he's so determined and he believes in this city. He believes that there is a good to be had here and that something great can come from us.
The musical is called Headlines Up From the Ashes, The Experience.
Well, you only hear the bad headlines that's coming out of Detroit right now. That's how we got Headlines, and we got the experience because we want this not to be a typical musical. We want the audience to experience something that they never encountered.
Everything is original and from the cast. The music, the choreography, the story, the characters, the story behind the houses.
This musical is going through the history of the city of Detroit and figuring out what went wrong and what has helped the city, and trying to look at those and look at that history and come up with what the city is today and trying to figure out how to get to a point of what we want it to be.
There's different stories being told in different ways, especially with our music choices. It's not just one genre. The way that the story is being told, verbally and physically, it's so different from so many other shows.
The plot of the musical is about a guy named Dustin who has lost hope. He is the epitome of Detroit now.
Just like Detroit going through wrong and right, he's battling between what's good and what's bad.
My character, Edward, he shows the good guy in Detroit, the good guy and wants better, but Dustin, he shows where Detroit is headed if we keep on acting like this.
Throughout the whole entire process, there are gods, time, love, soul, hope, and war. Throughout the play, the gods sort of mold themselves with the events that happen in the real world. If something tragic happens, the gods, they react to that all together.
We ended it off with somebody about to create a good process. We didn't end it off like the problem has been answered. We don't know the future, so we can't dictate if good is going to be at the end because we don't know. All we can do is, just like in the finale, say this is what we want in order for us to get out of the ashes that we are in. Even though, like on the poster, it doesn't say directed by Marilyn G. McCormick, I feel all of us did a little directing, but she was the guider, the top director.
What I want is this tempo.
She's like our outside eye looking in.
Come out. This is not a funeral dirge. We're not burying something at this point. We are raising something.
I would say the most challenging song in the show would have to be the finale number. We wanted it to be more like a chant. It wasn't a dragging ballad, or it wasn't, I'm happy because we are done fighting, because we're not done fighting. We are marching for the rising of our city.
One thing that we were discussing before we started creating the musical is how are people going to take it after sitting here for 2 hours and 3 acts? Will they walk away feeling like we changed their lives? And that's our main goal.
Ultimately, I want the audience to walk away from this experience knowing that we are one unit, we are connected.
I want people to know that you can fight, that something good happens here, and that we are the good that happens here.
I personally want them to walk away feeling like we can fill those empty lots, we can rebuild those houses, we can put back the Heidelberg Project and recognize the beauty that's in it and in Detroit.
I feel theater is positive to inspire someone to do that because it's real intimate and it's enclosed.
It brings people together in a way that it wouldn't normally happen.
Well, what I have taken away from the show is we are a lot stronger than we think we are, especially once we have other people that we know we can lean on. That's mainly what my ensemble has taught me. And the show itself, it showed me the beauty in Detroit and how wonderful we all are together, even though other people in other cities and other states, and they're all like looking down on us. I know that we have a lot of promise.
I want people to understand and realize that the youth aren't lost, that they have this ability to make changes, and they can follow through from the beginning to the end of something and do it well.
To find out more about the Castech students' creations, as well as all the other Detroit Perform artists, art events, and art programs, head to DetroitPerforms.org. I'm standing in a former jail cell where 555 allows visitors to write their wishes, hopes, and suggestions on how the community and the gallery can grow together. Now, let's take a look at some upcoming events happening in and around our city. To discover more events in Greater Detroit, visit ixity.com. 555 has kept most of its jail cells intact. Here you will see artists using the cells for exhibiting and creating. The artists work as a cooperative, supporting one another by working for 555. Next up, the Dance Theater of Harlem is an institution, a pioneer, a source of inspiration to millions of children of color dreaming of becoming a ballerina. And after an 8-year hiatus, the company reopened its doors, giving a new generation of children of color a chance to leap and pirouette on stage.
It's freeing to dance on stage or to dance in a studio. It's something very spiritual about it to me because you can really seek yourself out. Like when you have a challenging combination or something, you have to find your inner strength to just tell yourself to keep going, you know?
It is such a great honor to be invited to join the Dance Theater of Harlem company. The fact that they've been known for so long and they've done so much. They've opened people's eyes of the fact that there is color in the ballet world. And the fact that I get to work with Virginia Johnson, who I've been looking up to for forever. The fact that I get to, inspire people more. And the fact that this company is back.
Founded in 1969 by Arthur Mitchell and Carol Shook, the Dance Theater of Harlem made its official debut on January 8, 1971 at New York's Guggenheim Museum with 3 chamber ballets by Arthur Mitchell. Mitchell was the first classically trained ballet dancer to break the color line.
This is the 1960s, and there were no black ballerinas. There were amazing dancers of color who had careers, but they had to go to Europe for that. Because at that time, only Arthur Mitchell was dancing in a major ballet company. There just was a bias against blacks in ballet. They said we didn't have the bodies, that we didn't have the temperament, that we couldn't understand the refinements of this art form. Now, Arthur Mitchell had a group of people who had all been said no to, who'd said, you can't do this, there's no way for you to do this, and he was giving us the chance to do it. So the atmosphere for us was joy and possibility and feeling very much like pioneers, feeling like we were on a mission. You know, we had to change the world, and we were going to do it, and we were going to do it doing the thing that we loved. What could be better? We toured throughout the United States, and a lot of it was by bus, and we went to little tiny towns and college places, and that was wonderful. But the unexpectedness of Dance Theater of Harlem was what was so wonderful. People thought that it was going to be this, oh, I don't know what, and that they saw a kind of beauty that they hadn't imagined before. And the joy that they experienced by seeing something that they hadn't imagined was repeated. Whether we were in Bermuda, whether we were in Finland, whether we were in England, we would go back to Sadler's Wells every other year. The first year we went to Sadler's Wells, we had such a success that they brought us back at the end of our European tour. They were sold out, completely sold out. People couldn't get enough of Dance Theater of Harlem.
Despite Dance Theater of Harlem's critical success, the financial toll from running the company, the school, and community outreach put the institution in jeopardy. By 2004, it was in a crisis.
All ballet companies are money pits. You don't ever make the money that you need for your expenses through ticket sales and touring. You are dependent on grants and subsidy from the government. You're dependent on money coming in. In 2004, they found out, after being laid off, that the company was going to not be started again. And for the majority of those dancers, that was the end of their career. They never got another job. So there was a lot of bitterness around that. It was too important to save Dance Theater of Harlem as an institution. The thought was to sacrifice the company briefly. Nobody imagined that it would be 8 years, to enable the organization to stabilize itself, to eliminate debt, to get to the point where you could once again assume the burden of a professional company. But to keep the organization firm was a necessity, to keep the school firm. So the school is an important part of our community, a very important part of our work as Dance Theater of Harlem, as is the educational outreach.
After her long career as a dancer, Johnson began a new profession working on a startup publication, Point Magazine.
When I retired, I'd been dancing for 27 years. I had been working for a very difficult taskmaster. It had not always been the most glorious life in the world. Even though I loved it, there were things about it that wore me down. And so I turned my back on ballet. I thought, enough of that. You've had half of my life. Point Magazine gave me the chance to look again at ballet. I got new respect for ballet. I come to believe that the dancers can save the world because they are such extraordinary people. They have real inner strength, real commitment, real focus. They are about doing the impossible. Not for the sake of ego, but to bring something of beauty to the world. And I didn't find that in the normal world. I found a lot of disengaged, skeptical people who worked 9 to 5 and lived for their weekends and cut corners and didn't do the best job they could if they could get away with it. And then Arthur Mitchell calls me up and he says, I think I'd like you to take over the company. You know, you don't say no to Arthur Mitchell. And I also realized that this was my chance to give back. This was my chance to do what he did for me, to create a future for another generation of dancers. He said to me, your job is to bring the company back. This issue of blacks in ballet is still not resolved at all. And I do feel very strongly that the 8 years that we didn't have Dance Theater of Harlem as the visible manifestation of the work and the mission of Dance Theater of Harlem, that we went backwards. That when I went to audition dancers for this company, and we went to Chicago, and we went to San Francisco, and we went to Miami, we were looking for dancers of color for the Dance Theater of Harlem. I didn't see many, because there still aren't that many dancers of color in ballet. And if you don't see yourself on the stage, you don't think there's a place for you. Or if you're in a school and you're the only one. You know, you've really got to be hell-bent to make sure that you make this happen because you don't see a future for yourself.
We have shows every Thursday for the public to come and see us. It's inspiring. If they get to see us, they'll be like, oh wow, maybe I can do that. Maybe that can be me. I can do something great like that. The fact that Dance Theater of Harlem is such a small company, it's perfect because it gives you opportunities that you wouldn't have in a big company. You really get to know all the dancers, and you have more individual time with the director and all the teachers. So I think it's nice, it really is.
The company is basically a group of artists that have been chosen to come together to bring high art to society. We all train so hard to be a part of this organization and to sustain the legacy that is Dance Theater of Harlem.
One of the things that's been really very powerful about bringing back the company is how much people have missed it. The power of this organization to communicate an important story, to the kind of beauty we bring to the stage, to the uniqueness of Dance Theater of Harlem.
To find out more about the Dance Theater of Harlem, as well as all the other artists featured here today, visit the Detroit Performs website. And that wraps it up for this edition of Detroit Performs. For more arts and culture, head to DetroitPerforms.org, where you'll find featured videos, blogs, and information on upcoming arts events. I'd like to thank the 555 Gallery for allowing us to come here today and check out all their artwork. Let me tell you, you have got to come by here and check this out for yourself. It is such a unique experience. Until next Tuesday, get out there and show the world how Detroit performs, y'all. I am DJ Oliver. Thanks for watching, guys.
Funding for Detroit Performs is provided by the Michigan Council for Arts and Cultural Affairs, MGM Grand Detroit, and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.